Morning, everyone. This is Curtis Hawks, Chief Marketing Officer over here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. I want to thank everybody for taking some time to be with us this morning. We've got I think, a really exciting topic. We've got a new program that we've been working on for quite a while now, and so excited to make that available and chat through that program a little bit this morning. For those of you that maybe aren't as familiar with IAMS, I did want to take a couple of minutes here just to go through some of the additional resources that we have available here. So first up, we've got our new producer bonus. This is a great program if you're new to IAMS to be able to not only accrue additional dollars as you're producing business with us, but in addition, as you can see on the screen there's a variety of different ways that you can allocate those funds, whether that's trips or marketing dollars or business expenses, you name it. And one of the nice core themes about IAMS is that if there's not something on there that you see that you feel like really fits into what you're trying to do, then we can customize that for you as well. And so if you've got questions on that, feel free to reach out, talk to your sales director over here, and they can chat with you about that. In addition to that, we've got our IAMS Business Builders. Those are all really great ways for IAMS to partner with you even further. So we've got our Referred Producer Program. So if you've got, if you're working with us and maybe there's an agent who you feel like might be a good fit for us, or you know they're not maybe necessarily currently happy with their existing relationship, send them our way. Not only will we take care of them, provide all the service, you don't have to do anything, but then on an ongoing basis, you can earn revenue based off of their production. And candidly, those are some of the biggest checks that we cut out. In addition to that, we've got our marketing reimbursement program. This is a great way to, as you're producing business with us on an ongoing basis, for you to accrue additional marketing dollars that can be used for a variety of things, even programs like Opportunity Engine, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And again, if you've got questions on that, reach out, talk to your sales director over here. In addition to this, I'll just briefly touch on it, but IAMS, some of you might not realize this, but we've been in business for 40 years, and service is a cornerstone of what has driven our success. And so if you haven't tested that out, I would strongly encourage you to do so, because one of the things I think you'll find is that we are second to none when it comes to taking care of our agents, and the entire team here understands and values the partnership that we have with the advisors that work with us. We've also got a great resource with the IAMS portal. Really, you can do a lot of different things on there, from pre-sale to training to evaluating marketing programs, product research, you name it. You just need to be contracted with us to access it. We even have our sales resource library, which literally has hundreds of point of sale pieces that you can utilize with in your sales process. So a lot of good resources on there that you can use and access. In addition to that, you can also do your e-applications right there on the website. So we do integrate with Luma, Firelight, iPipeline, as well as Sunfire if you're doing Medicare business. In addition to that, one I think exciting feature about Luma is that you also have a track on all of your in-force business. And so it's a very effective way to go in and mind your book of business and see what policies maybe are coming out of surrender, what type of activity has been going on with the carrier. So a lot of resources there. In addition to that, we've got our creative services team. Now more than ever, I think an advisor's digital brand is so critically important to them doing business. That did not used to be the case, and for a period of time, it was, I need to have a website. Everybody knew they needed to have a website. But now, taking that a step further, I think it's very important to have business social media profiles. And I think for a lot of advisors, they might incorporate social in some way, shape, or fashion into their business, but that's not a primary way to get in front of people. Well, the reality is there's over 1 billion searches on Facebook on a monthly basis. And when a consumer goes to your website, what they can't tell is how many people are interested in engaging with you. Um, what do consumers think about what you're doing? What kind of content are you putting out there? And so they can see that on Facebook. And so I think that's part of what drives the importance to have a good social media presence, because consumers are going to go out on social media and they're going to look you up, and that can be a big factor on whether they do business with you or not. I know we're here today to talk about one singular topic when it comes to marketing, but one of the things that IAMS provides is our marketing analysis process, and it's completely complimentary. I know for a lot of advisors that I talk to, they've got goals and they want to grow and scale their business, and they have a sense of, when I close my eyes and I think about what I want this to look like, they can picture that. But what they have trouble with is, how do I get from where I'm at today to that vision that I have in my mind? And that's really what our marketing analysis process is designed to do, is to bridge that gap. And so it's a two-part process. If you're interested in that, reach out to your sales director, but it will add clarity to the complexity of marketing and help you to accomplish your goals. In addition to that, I wanted to touch on IAMS Wealth. We've seen that grow significantly year over year over year. And certainly that's a trend in the marketplace, is getting a 65, becoming an IAR, and gathering assets. There is right now currently over $25 trillion of assets in the boomer marketplace. And as much as we drive a ton of business in the fixed annuity and life insurance space, there's certainly a lot of that money that those consumers are going to want those to be in brokerage accounts. And so it can be a great opportunity to create residual income for yourself and continue to grow and scale your business, as well as making sure that that consumer is not having to go somewhere else. And so if you've got some questions on that, reach out, talk to your sales director over here. They're more than happy to get a call lined up with IAMS as well. Our Life and Annuity Academy. Excited about this. So I don't know if any of you have seen this. I know we had our Ascend meeting here a couple weeks ago, but really excited. We've got our initial dates for our first live in-person academy this year. It's going to be April 8th through the 10th, and a ton of opportunity. So I'm actually working through the agenda. We've got some really great topics that we're going to be presenting on. These events are a first come, first served basis. So we'll do 6 or 7 of these throughout the course of the year. But as soon as it's booked up, that's it. We shut off registration. And so we'll start doing some emails on this next week. I know the sales team has already started talking to people, but I would strongly encourage you, if you have interest in attending one of these 2-day events, reach out, talk to your sales director. We're finalizing dates for the May event. Probably should have that done here in the next week or two, but if you want to get in there and you want to hear from top producers, you want to hear about current trends on marketing, you want to take a deep dive into what are some of the sales concepts and product positioning strategies that we think are going to be huge themes for this year, you definitely want to attend. In addition to that, we are right in the thick of qualification for our Peak Producer Summit. So we've got our Dominican Republic trip. We wrapped up qualification on that in December. That'll be here in March, but you can qualify right now for our Peak Producer Summit. That'll be in August. SILAC Premium is what qualifies for that. It's going to be in Park City. Great event. A lot of opportunity there to network with other top producers, and really just a great reward for the hard work that you do. We also are right in the middle of qualification for our Baja Mar trip to Nassau that runs through December 31st of this year. So a lot of opportunity there. We did cap off our double production credits. So we'll probably, I would guess, Steve will want to do another round of that at some point in time this year. But I would encourage you to, if you've got questions on what your standing is, go on the IAMS Inc. portal, or reach out, talk to your sales director, and we get your standings right now. We were actually just talking about that this morning, and I think we've got already, a third of the way through 17 or 18 qualifiers already for it. We've still got almost a year left to qualify for it. So definitely going to be an experience of a lifetime. Lastly, I'd encourage everybody to make sure to like us and follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook. We post a lot of content out there. In fact, that's one of the quickest ways to see what's going on here at IAMS. But with that, I will pause there and let's see here. So I've got a couple of co-presenters for this morning that I'm very excited about. So with me today is Hunter Soroy and Dale Griffin. And just I'm gonna hand it over to them here in a minute, but I just want to frame this a little bit. So we do a significant amount of business in the annuity space, the life insurance space, and one key area when it comes to life insurance that's a big focus for us is in the indexed universal life space. And I think when you look at the climate right now, and over the last couple of years, I know we had a lot of ambiguity about the sunsetting of the TCJA. Obviously, last year in Q3, we got the Big Beautiful Bill Act, and that gave a little bit of clarity around estate planning and the state taxes and some of the things that are going on there. But I think for a lot of you, you have discussions around taxation. You have discussions around macro tax planning. And I think there's a lot of consumers that what they see on the horizon is increase in taxes. And I think that's a very real concern. We're running up a deficit. We're at 38 trillion. Even when we look at 2025 alone, we only brought in $5.2 trillion of tax revenue, but we had spending of 7.1 trillion. And $1 trillion of the tax revenue that we had come in was just interest on our debt. And so since we seem to have a spending problem, the most logical path without unwinding legacy spending is to increase tax revenues. And so when we look at what are tax advantaged alternatives that we can use, we're talking Roth conversions or Roth IRAs or cash value life insurance. And so knowing there's a huge opportunity and a significant amount of wealth when we look at the boomer X, Y, Z marketplace, we wanted to create a solution that you can add to the top of your sales funnel that can help generate a consistent flow of prospects. As many of you know, and I've worked with a number of you, I talk to a lot of reps. And for a lot of the advisors out there, what they tell me is, when I'm in front of somebody, I can do a really effective job and I can help them. My challenge is, how do I create that consistency in my business? And that's so critically important, because if there's not consistency at the top of your sales funnel, that translates through and impacts all facets of your business. And so we wanted to create a system that had opportunities. And I think for most advisors, that's what they're looking for, is give me an opportunity. It's on my shoulders if I convert this and if I can help this person. But if I've got a consistent flow of opportunities, then good things are going to happen. And so we knew to build something like that out, we had to partner with some of the top people in the country when it comes to digital advertising and marketing. And so we're very, very excited to talk about Opportunity Engine. And with me today is Dale Griffin, Hunter Soroy, a couple of the architects of the system that we've worked together to build out. So hand it over to you guys. I know you guys are very busy and running a lot of campaigns, so I appreciate you taking a little bit of time with me as well as the team here to give us a little bit of an overview of what advisors can expect with this system.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Curtis. All right, guys, my name is Hunter Soroy. I got with me one of my partners here, Dale Griffin. How do I share screen, Curtis? I think I have to ask.
Let me switch that over to you. I wasn't sure if I was who was going to be presenter. So I'm switching it over to you as the presenter. So you should have a share button now.
Yep, I do. All right, before I kick it off, can I see how many people we have with us? Because I want to speak to everybody personally.
I think we got about 30, 35 people in here so far, something like that.
All right, so we got 30 to 35 of you guys. We have, in the last year, helped over 1,000 agents write more IUL business. So I'm going to walk through exactly that, what Opportunity Engine is, and why I think it's your guys' best bet if you're trying to maximize premiums, especially with everything Curtis just said, that tax revenue is mostly going to go up. Like the probability of that is, I don't know, 99%. So now is one of the best times to get more opportunities in your pipeline for IULs. And I'm going to walk you guys through the opportunity engine system, what everything looks like, how you guys can use it. And Dale, chime in wherever you can. So let me go ahead and walk through. So can you guys see this okay?
Yep.
All right, cool. So Opportunity Engine is powered by Infinity Box. And I just wanted to walk you guys through a little bit of who we are real quick. So in 2025, we did over $30 million in issued premium. And this was just off of our leads. We worked with some very, very notable companies. One is Ethos, some private equity backed IMOs, but we just so happen to love IAMS the best, and we want to give you guys the absolute best. And there's a few other notable billion-dollar brands that we've worked with in 2025, but we have NDAs, and we're not supposed to say, but I'll just tell you they're in the life insurance space. So we've helped over 1,000 agents so far. And you got to imagine, after doing this for so many people, we got really good at generating high intent leads of people that actually want to talk about IULs and more like tax deferred or tax benefited cash value life insurance. So in doing this, we've had 50 agents write over 100K a month for consecutive months. We've had over 200 agents write over 50K a month for consecutive months. And this is issued target premium. This is not on annual premium. And 400 plus agents have written over 20K a month for consecutive months. So we have done this for many, many people, and it's allowed us to see what works and what doesn't. And I'm going to break that down for you guys. And just a side piece, Opportunity Engine is going to be powered by us at Infinity Box. And this came from, Curtis was kind enough to send us a couple agents from IAMS. They came in, they did pretty well. And Curtis said, what if we could enroll this to a lot more people to help out a lot more people? So that's what we did. And that's why we built Opportunity Engine. So just as a little side piece, a lot of the other lead vendors and marketing agencies that you guys see, I'm just going to play this card to hopefully help you guys realize that this system is very good. A lot of these guys have paid us a lot of money to come and learn how to use our system so that they can sell it to life insurance agents as well, and advisors and retirement advisors and things like that. So a lot of the people on the market that you guys see, I'm not going to name names, but they come to us for consulting so that they can learn how to run their marketing agencies. So we have tons and tons of wins and screenshots that we can go over for days and days and days. Veronica just submitted over 23K. That's her first month. Blake closed his first lead. Ron is one of our guys that closed over 70K a month for months and months. Dean has closed over 100K a month, many months in a row. There's Dean closing 142,000 in a month. Here's a 3-month span of early last year. This is people writing 438,000 in issued premium in 3 months. Felipe 243, Tyler 233,000, and you guys see the rest. It goes on and on and on. I won't blow you guys up with all the wins today. I'll show you how we actually do it. But if you guys want to go check out a bunch of reviews as well, and then more wins, but that's it. So no more. So I want you guys to fully understand my perspective on why digital marketing is probably your best bet if you want to scale your business. So digital marketing versus things like radio, warm market, referrals, it allows you more control and predictability. It just does. So and there's other things that I'll go over today and how we can increase engagement and allow agents to connect with modern consumers. So, final expense, selling final expense, using mailers and things like that is great. Send people a ton of mailers. They'll call in for some final expense. That's great. For more IUL and like retirement seeking people, tax advantages, it's going to be best to connect with modern consumers where they are, which is going to be over social media. And that can create some problems. So I'll go over how we get around those. So, but in general, if you guys want to really scale and have control over your pipeline, it comes with digital marketing because there's levers that you can pull that will directly affect outcomes versus you send a ton of mailers, you kind of have averages. of what people do. You get radio leads. Yeah, you kind of have averages, but there's not a lot of control. So this way you guys can have a predictable pipeline, fresh opportunities every single day. And then you can plug in some of the best softwares to your CRM, which I'll go over. There are some that are very, very cool, but it allows you guys unfair advantages over other agents that don't use this. So you guys have way more control overall. So before I kick off exactly what Opportunity Engine is going to do, I want you guys to understand, now that you see digital marketing is better than most of the other things, there's two different ways that you guys can use digital marketing. I guess three. One, you could go learn it yourself. No offense, good luck. This is the last 8 years of our experience and tens of millions of dollars in ad budget testing. Can you do this? For sure. If you don't want all of the work of doing this yourself, which I'm going to go over and how difficult it can be, and you guys just want to plug into a system that works and is easy, you could consider something like paying somebody a retainer, which would be me going to my partner, Dale, who's great at marketing for IULs. And I'd be like, hey, Dale, I'll pay you $2,000 to $3,000 a month to run my campaigns. And Dale says, okay, you pay me that $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Also, I'm going to need you to spend $2,000 to $3,000 a month in marketing spend. So that's what actually gets uploaded to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and other social medias. So now we're talking about $4,000 to $6,000, and I have zero idea of what's going to come from that. I just trust Dale, and that's how most marketing companies work. You just trust them, and they say, I'm going to do my best, and that's kind of how it works. So it's a fixed monthly cost. You're uncertain on lead volume always. The quality of leads can vary a ton, which is what we do all day long, is checking on marketing campaigns and conversion rates and seeing where to shift budget on a macro level scale, which is millions of dollars a month in spend. You guys would have less control if you have retainers, because you can't directly change anything. You're just kind of at the mercy of whoever's running your stuff. And it's most likely not going to align with performance. So I'll give you an example. If you guys pay $50 for a lead, then I'm also considering in this example of me working with Dale, the extra $2,000 to $3,000. So my cost goes up to like $150 a lead. Versus if you guys can find a good system like we've built here at Opportunity Engine, pay per lead is going to be better for most everyone here. So this is paying for only actual leads. There's no management fees. There's no retainers. You have greater control and transparency over lead flow and volume and everything coming in. It aligns cost with performance. So you guys are going to be able to get leads at a more cost-effective rate, especially with Opportunity Engine, since we've partnered with IAMS, and it creates a more predictable ROI versus somebody just running your campaigns and you do great one month and terrible another. So this is going to be scalable for most everyone here that has not spent the last 8 years in learning digital marketing like we have. So now that you guys get that, I'm going to go over how we do this. So there's a couple different segments in here and how we built everything in Opportunity Engine. Number one, I want to show you guys how to generate the best leads possible. So we use things like DeepSync, Audience Labs, Oracle, a bunch of data aggregators and data companies, and we use AI to find profiles of people that are most likely to be able to fund an IUL to an effective amount that actually helps them. And then we market to them with things that aren't that sexy. Just checking in. Can everybody still hear me okay? Just make sure I'm not talking to a wall.
Yep, absolutely.
Great. So if you guys go right now, or you go to any social media and you're seeing ads for IUL, what you'll see is a lot of things that are true, but not true to the general public. So somebody will say, hey, this is a Rockefeller strategy. If you put in $100 a month, you could have $2 million in tax-free retirement. Yeah, there is a lot of those ads out there. You'll see others that, talk about $100 a month for generational wealth. While you can still set great expectations with those leads on calls, it's just a lot more work. So what we do is we steer away from the generational wealth, the Rockefeller waterfall strategy. We used to run that, And we found that it created a disconnect in expectations. And most sales calls from our agents were like 2 hours long because they had to reset expectations. They had to be like, hey, I know you saw that, but it's not realistic. And here's why. Here's what I would do instead. So the first hour was really resetting expectations. And this was like 2 years ago when we did this, versus when we started running ads that were more bottom of funnel. So this is just things that are less sexy. It's like, hey, get an IUL. If you put in $300 to $500 a month, here is an average healthy 44-year-old and what his tax-free retirement could look like at a rate of 6.44% or whatever the illustration was. We run tons of ads like those, and we find that it gets us people that are more quality and have better expectations, and it makes the calls easier and smoother. On the right, I got an example of a lead opting in. So we make it harder for people to opt in. I don't need you guys to be marketing experts today, but I'll throw out a little thing here. There's something called a lead form, and there's something called a landing page. So lead form and landing page. A lead form is somebody on Meta, so Instagram or Facebook, or they're on Google, and they hit a link and they want to opt in. Well, it will autofill all of their information, and they click one button and you just get their name, phone number, and email, and that's it. So you got to imagine, if I see an ad for an IUL and I say, wow, that looks pretty cool, and I hit one button and I opt in as a lead, I don't have a lot of brand recall, is what it's called in our industry. So brand recall would be like, somebody calls me 4 hours later and I'm like, yeah, I definitely remember doing that. And how strong your brand recall is you could call them a week later and they'll be like, yes, I do remember something about an IUL. I remember opting in for that. It's way harder to do that if I'm scrolling on social media watching cat videos and I click one button and opt in. I'm going to forget I ever did that. So if you guys want to see it again, we have people leave whatever page they're on and they go to a landing page, not a lead form. They're going to click their primary goal, state that they're located in, their date of birth, which they have to manually enter. They'll click continue. It'll go to their annual household income. Do you currently have life insurance? And then OTP, or one-time passcode. This was a game changer for us when we implemented it. And when we did, we noticed the entire industry started following our lead on this. So another problem you guys can get into is if you purchase leads from a lead vendor or you have somebody running your retainers, it's common for people to look at ads like this and be like, I kind of just want to see what it is. So I don't know if I'm going to put in my real number. Well, those people don't opt in as a lead because they physically can't. The only leads that count and get sent are people that get to the end and they say, you know what, yeah, I see all the reviews. I've seen some stuff about IULs these guys have been running before. I made it this far. Yeah, somebody can reach out. That's fine. They'll opt in and verify their phone number. So there will be no disconnected phone numbers, and there's like a 0.1% chance you'll get a disconnected phone number. It's not a big deal for today. Sometimes people can have a phone where it can receive text but not calls. So we would replace those leads in that event, but it's like, 1 out of every 1,000 leads we generate has that. So number one, just to go through what we've been through so far, we use AI to go scrape through data aggregators and find people that have families, they have nice cars, they're homeowners. What else? People that have been actively searching for retirement options in the last 6 months, or people that are searching for tax-free options, tax-free investment vehicles for the last 6 months. All of those people we're getting in front of, and we're marketing things that do not say, hey, here's a get-rich-quick Rockefeller waterfall strategy. Get an IUL, you'll be a millionaire overnight. We don't do anything like that. So we have noticed that ultimately this makes, I'm being transparent with you guys, this makes us less profitable, and we don't care because it helps people out and they stick longer. And if you guys are happier in Opportunity Engine, we'll all be happy together. As long as you guys stick around and have a great time, we're all doing well together. So Did I skip it? Oh, it skipped one. So after the lead opts in, I think I skipped two. So after the lead opts in, here's how you guys can be perfect. Call the lead within 5 minutes immediately. Text them within 5 seconds. I'll ask you guys a question. How likely is it that you're going to be able to text them within 5 seconds of every lead that comes in every day? And you're getting 10 to 12 new leads every single day. Probably pretty unlikely. Maybe you're on another call with somebody else. How are you going to call immediately? Well, we have a really cool software that we've plugged into the Opportunity Engine CRM, and it's called Wave, W-A-V-V. It's very, very, very simple. There are a bunch of great power dialers out there that can dial from local presence, meaning I'm from Baltimore. It's a 410 number. If I live in Nashville, Tennessee now, if I called that through Wave, it's going to show up as 410. So it's going to create more trust and get more pickups. Also, if I am dialing my list throughout the day and I click one button and it's dialing through all the leads and double dialing them so that pickup rate's higher, if a new lead comes in, it's going to real quick jump that to the queue. So if I'm dialing right through all my list and a new lead comes in, it's going to be the very next one that dials. So now you can call immediately. The text 5 seconds, that's going to happen automatically in the CRM. And then if anyone responds to it, it's going to be picked up with AI that has been trained through thousands, tens of thousands of text messages, and then videos that we've transcribed about some of the greatest IUL experts in the game. It's going to be able to answer questions and get responses going and just get people more bought in so that by the time you call them, they will have talked with this AI bot expert that's texting on your behalf. And you guys can call them at that point and they'll be like, yeah, weren't we just talking about, how to max fund and min face? I think I saw something about that in that example. So this power dialer is great. It's inside the CRM. It's going to help you guys be perfect. Because if humans are never going to be perfect, but if we add in some cool little automations here, we can get really dang close. So if you guys wanted to be perfect again, you would manage your pipeline every day and you would take good leads and send them back to Meta in this case, or any of the social medias that you're marketing on, so that the algorithm can get better at finding more people like that. So that would look like you guys every single day going and looking at all your good leads, uploading them somewhere. We'll take them, we'll upload it back to Facebook, and it trains the algorithm how to do that. Yeah, we do that automatically. So as you guys move people through your pipeline, if somebody is on a day one attempt and they call and you move them over to, you had a call with them, you booked an appointment, you wrote a policy for them, they got approved. As you're moving people in the pipeline, it automatically sends conversion data back to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And it tells the algorithm, hey, this person was great. Give me 1,000 more people like that. And as you guys do this in Opportunity Engine, everybody benefits off of doing this. So it's really no task for you guys. You're just managing your pipeline, but it makes everyone's leads across the board better. So this happens automatically. It's no extra work. It's just moving people in your pipeline. So this is everything that you guys will be getting in Opportunity Engine. So number one, we went through OTP, which is that one-time passcode that you saw. So this is leads that opt in. They get to the point at the end, they say, yeah, maybe I want to talk to somebody, maybe I don't. And they have to make that decision by verifying their phone number. So they get texted a code, they text that code back, and that's basically their permission, gets your foot in the door. Then those people are generated through the AI that I talked about. So we're using things like DeepSync, Oracle, Audience Labs, and we spend, doesn't matter, but I'm just letting you guys know we spend a lot of money on that every single month. That is no fee to you guys. It does not incur any costs on you, but this is how we're getting better quality people out the gate. The AI texting bot is going to pick up it's going to pick up 80% of the work for you guys. The last little 20% is the bot might not be able to answer something and it pings you. It's unlikely, but it might ping you. Somebody might be having a text conversation back and forth. It might just be better for you to call them and just get the policy written. That's why I say 80% of the work, because I don't think you guys are going to be writing many policies over text. It's really there to get people engaged and ready to call. We have weekly sales trainings and 24/7 support, so we can help you guys with everything. And then the CRM and everything is obviously included, and there's a bunch of cool plugins. Cool. So that is pretty much everything that I wanted to go over. I'll go over the offer itself and pricing with your permission, Curtis. Is there anything else you wanted me to add, though?
Yeah, so really good overview, Hunter, on everything. I know probably one of the questions people have is, okay, if I do this, what would be my expectations? Like how long before maybe I start getting some prospects? How long does it take to fill an order? Those types of things. So I'm thinking that might be a good topic to touch on.
Yep. So anybody who wants to test out Opportunity Engine, from the second that you go live, which is you just filling out an intake sheet or a little onboarding sheet that says state that you're located in, couple state licenses, just a couple intake things. When we get that and you guys schedule to press launch, the beauty of us being a pay per lead vendor and not a retainer agency is I'm not guessing. I'm telling you guys you'll receive, if you want, about 8 to 12 leads every single day, because you're plugging into our campaigns that we've already spent tens of millions of dollars on and they're working. So you guys are plugging into the flow. I'm not coming to you and saying, hey, pay Opportunity Engine money and we'll see what happens. That would be like a retainer. So you guys can start expecting to receive leads the second that you go live, and about 8 to 12 leads every single day are going to hit your pipeline that are OTP verified, the AI bots texting, everything like that. And the expectations that we've seen, because I know people have a lot of questions about how good are the leads? How quality are they? What's the average conversion rate? It's hard for us to answer because every single agent's different, but I'm still going to give you averages. So there's a minimum lead order size of 100, and I'll put an asterisk on that. I'll come back. Out of the 100 fresh leads that you guys will receive in every order, I've seen as low as 4 policies close out of that. And the record right now is like 24 out of the 100 leads. And that was somebody that was our first like 150K month in target issued premium. There are other averages we can answer if you guys have any specific questions. And was I just going to say on the asterisk? Oh yeah. Another thing is people say, hey, how many leads do I got to get? Or here's the question that people ask incorrectly is they say, hey, how little commitment can I give this and will it still work? And they'll ask that question by saying, what's the least amount of leads I can get? Well, I would caution you when you guys get leads from anywhere, it really has to do with the sample size. So in the sake of transparency, when we give people leads and we give them at least 100 leads, retention is great. They buy another pack 94% of the time. If people get 50 or less leads, when we first started this years ago, it was a 50-50 coin toss if people would come back. And it's really because the sample size is not large enough. Listen, you guys could be perfect and the sample size is not large enough. Or you could be like most people. This is digital marketing. It might be a little learning curve. In your first 20 or so, 30 leads, you may not have done as good as you're going to do in the last 20 or 30. It gives room for error, margin for error. You guys don't have to be perfect. You can still get a lot of conversions and make a good ROI. And then after that, every single month it starts to stack, because if you guys are doing this for months and you get 100 leads a month, month 1, you close a couple. Month 2, you close a couple new leads and old leads from month 1. Then month 3 rolls around, you close a bunch more new leads and then old leads from month 2 and then old leads from month 3. And you just keep getting that hockey stick effect as you go. So yeah, great question, Curtis. You got any others you think will be FAQs commonly asked?
So one thing I wanted to touch on, we are going to be launching an Opportunity Engine microsite in partnership with Hunter and Dale. And so We're going to have some additional resources on that. So, Hunter's touched on the sales training, and that's one thing that I feel like is very important, because, in sales, we talk a lot about best practices in a sales process. And I do think that's important. I think everybody needs to have a sales process. But part of what I think we need to recognize as advisors is our sales process. Part of the top part of that can fluctuate depending on the entry point. And I think a good example of that is if we think about in the context of a seminar, right? My sales process was somebody who came, drove across town, watched me present, and then scheduled an appointment with me might look a little bit different than if I got a direct mail lead card in, or I had somebody come in from radio, or I had somebody come in from digital. And so I think that's an area where Hunter and the team have done a very effective job of saying, okay, here is what to expect. Here is a process that we found works very, very effectively with the leads that we generate for you to work with. And so I like the fact that they put that together. The other thing is we've taken that a step further. So in addition to the training that Hunter and the team are providing, we're also giving everybody a Stonewood Select membership when they sign up and place an order for Opportunity Engine. So not only will you get all of that training, but then you get access to that software platform where you can very easily compare, well, what if I overfund an IUL in comparison to putting money into a 401k or 403b, or putting it into some type of tax deferred vehicle, and then what is the impact of taxation when I go to distribute the income? And so there's a lot of resources outside of just getting you in front of a quality prospect that are designed to help you make more money at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Does anybody have any questions they want to put in the chat?
Yeah. If anybody has any questions, feel free to fire off here. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
I know one question I got asked the other day is you touched on state. So as far as lead flow, are they just picking one state? Is it coming in nationally?
Oh, great question. Yeah, guys, here's what I would recommend for lead flow, number one. And then things in marketing, they fluctuate all the time. This is why you want to work with a partner that does everything for you. We have some months where like Montana does like 2 million in premium, and then other months where it does like 20,000, and there's a bunch of agents in it. Random things like that. So to mitigate that and have more control and predictability, it's kind of, dude, it's like, it's so funny because there's so many illusions in life. It's the same thing as like, if I had $1 million, would I put it all in Tesla or would I diversify it? I would probably diversify that. So it's the same thing in your states. We recommend at least bare minimum 3 states. If you guys want to start on the best foot humanly possible, we'd recommend at least 5 states, getting leads from there. And we will keep you guys up to date with all of the different ebbs and flows that we see, like I said. So like what states are performing best this week and this month. And you guys have permission to change them, and there's no wait time. So if I wanted to start with California, Texas, Florida, New Mexico, and Colorado, and I had 5 states, if I wanted to change them tomorrow, then I would just switch them up tonight. By tomorrow, when the leads are uploading, it's immediate. You'll start getting leads from the new states.
Okay. We've got a question in here about if most agents are selling increasing death benefit or level, but I would imagine probably a little bit of that's just kind of driven off of the discussion with the lead. Or
Yeah.
do you guys see kind of a trend one way or the other as far as the design of the solution?
It really depends. So like this is I have to like wear 2 hats all the time, guys. I have to wear the hat of being a sales manager, and like obviously we all want to make money, and then the other thing is what puts them in the best seat humanly possible. And it's not like that one sounds very obvious, but it's not always the case. So I'll give you an example. Like if somebody opts in, you saw on the form, they have no life insurance. Am I really going to put them on like a min face max fund and their family be just totally wrecked if somebody passed away? No, I would probably get them a good amount of death benefit in there. If people are really trying to maximize cash growth, and they already have a Roth IRA, and they already have life insurance and their 401k. Yeah, maybe some rollovers, some increasing death benefit. There's so many different things that we go over in our trainings from experts that are using the system to write over 100K a month that you guys can speak to. But it is really case by case. I hate giving the answer that it's case by case because it doesn't really help, but it really is.
Well, I think you're right, because I think life insurance at its core, one of the benefits to it is, we commonly talk about it as a self-completing plan. Mm-hmm. So no matter which way you slice it, it's going to pay out, whether it's via the death benefit, via the cash value, or via the chronic illness benefits that are very common on those types of products. So it really does become a matter of what are the primary goals of the consumer, because you could design it to have all three of those, and it's just what is the balance between the three. So for some people, it might be a more balanced, I need death benefit, I need cash, I need chronic illness. For some people, in the example that you mentioned, I've already got some insurance coverage already. So I really want to compress this down, and my primary concern is the cash value growth of it. Mm-hmm. But no, good question. Now, with that being said, I've got a whole bunch of the same question, which is how much? What does this cost, et cetera? So I suppose, I know we're coming up on the hour here, so maybe we dive into that.
Yeah, it's on the next slide. So 2 different options you guys have. You're probably wondering, because I said $50 a lead earlier, and I said $100 minimum. You guys are thinking, oh no, it's going to be $5,000 minimum. It's not. So because we partnered with IAMS, and Curtis wanted to give you guys the best humanly possible system, we wanted to make it as cost effective as humanly possible. So 2 different options. If you guys want to do a 90-day agreement where you say, hey, I'm going to do this for 90 days, I'm going to get at least 300 leads, I'm going to get 100 a month, then it's $33 a lead. And a bonus on each of these is that you guys get 2 weeks free of Wave, that power dialer. So you guys can test it out, and we'll give you some training on it, and we'll help you use it, because when you guys have 300 leads in your pipeline, imagine dialing each and every single one, each and every single day manually and typing it in your phone. It's miserable. This also has local presence, so it'll make your connection rates way higher. It's just like night and day when we use this. So it's an amazing bonus. $33 a lead. So you're looking at $3,300 a month plus a $50 CRM fee. The Wave is free for 2 weeks. If you guys want to keep it, it's as cheap as $50 a month. It gets as expensive as $150 a month, depending on all the bells and whistles, which I can go over if you want. Or if you guys just want to dip your toe in, it's $3,500 for 100 leads, $50 a month for the CRM, 2 weeks free. The only difference there is it's the month-to-month agreement. So those are your guys' 2 options. I think Curtis said he's going to add a little mini site to the IAMS page so you guys can check it out. But now that you guys know the pricing, any questions you have, feel free to drop them in the chat. And Curtis or Dale, if you guys could read those, because I'm just on like one screen right now. Sorry.
Sure. Definitely will. Yeah, we're really excited about the rollout of this. I mean, we've had so many conversations with advisors where IUL is either it's a product line that they want to get into, or it's a product line and a solution that they believe in. And I think it's challenging to go out and find a good source of prospects specifically for that. I certainly see a lot of advisors where their IUL sales come from cross-selling. Maybe they're in the annuity market, or they're doing some other type of marketing, and they're going through meeting with people, and then they're cross-selling the IUL solution. And so this is a way that if you want to have an immediate infusion of those types of prospects, to do that. And I think the other thing that's neat about it, and Hunter kind of touched on this earlier, which is, I think for most people, when we think about, because we're kind of doing a car theme on this a little bit, and being able to rev up your marketing engine, you don't want to know how the combustion engine works. You want to know how to drive the car. And that's really what we're providing here, is we're providing fuel for the vehicle, and then we're showing you how do you drive this, and how do you just get on cruise control and just coast with a flow of prospects and then a flow of applications coming in. So a couple of the questions that we have here are sign-up links. So here's what I would tell everybody is, We don't have the opportunity engine page live yet, so the sales directors here, so Matt, Paul, John, they've got that link. I'm going to be having them reach out to everybody after the meeting to chat with all of you about it. And yeah, if you're wanting to get registered, to Hunter's point, we can get you registered today. You've probably got some leads coming in starting next week on this, and so we're at the halfway point of Q1. And from my perspective, working with advisors on their annual goals, it's so critically important to get on a good trend line in Q1. That really sets the tone for the balance of the year. And I think we've all probably had years like that where we didn't get off to a great start, and then it was kind of like we were playing from behind the entire year, and it got into Q3, Q4 before we got on track with where we want to be. Well, let's set a crazy pace this year. There's a ton of opportunity. The market condition is right. The news cycle in the media around taxes and budget and deficit, these are all things that are top of mind for consumers. And now you've got an engine, a system that can generate consumers who that is in the back of their mind, and they're looking for solutions, and you have those. So yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of the questions are in here. So I think for purposes of today, I think we've covered the bulk of what we need to. Now it's time to take action. So Dale, Hunter, I appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day with us. For all of you on the call, appreciate you taking some time as well. And then reach out, talk to your sales director. I'm going to have them giving you guys a call as well. And let's make it a great rest of the sales day. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate the time.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.